Big belly, old pants don't fit anymore. But strangely, I eat less than before. So why does my belly keep getting bigger? Dear friends, I believe this is a feeling that many people over the age of 50 are experiencing. It's not just about appearance. It's the heaviness, the fatigue, the sluggishness, waking up every morning feeling like your body is more bloated than the day before. And strangely enough, there are people who don't need extreme diets or expensive pills, yet their bellies slim down over time, and they feel healthier day by day. The question is, what are they doing differently? And can we, you, me, and all of us, learn from them? In today's video, I invite you to discover a special habit from the Japanese, small but full of healthy living wisdom they've preserved for life. Don't leave midway, my friends, because toward the end, I'll share a surprising habit that many are doing wrong. And it's the reason why belly fat keeps piling up without them knowing why. Sincerely thank you for being with me. If you find this helpful, please leave a comment with the number 1 below so I know to continue making useful videos. If not yet convincing, feel free to leave 0. I'll do my best to improve. Wishing you lots of health, lightness, and peace every day. And if you think this content is useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for the Chan Lee Song channel so we can meet again in future videos. Dear friends, after age 40, our bodies enter a very different stage. Everything slows down. Heart rate, digestion, and even fat metabolism is no longer as quick as before. When we were younger, eating more and moving a bit could burn it all off. But now, we eat less and still store belly fat, especially around the navel area, often called the visceral fat reserve, which is very hard to burn off unless we understand the root mechanism. As muscle mass declines with age, leftover energy in the day doesn't get burned and starts to store as fat. Most of it doesn't go to arms or legs, but right to the lower belly, the least active area. At this stage, the liver and pancreas must work harder to maintain blood sugar levels. And when internal organs are overworked for too long, it's no surprise that conditions like diabetes, fatty liver, or high blood lipids appear. But it's not just age. Chronic stress, late dinners, poor sleep, all of these disrupt hormones and metabolism. The body, in defense mode, holds on to fat instead of burning it. That's why some people eat very little but still get belly fat. Truth is, our bodies are fair. They always give early warnings with subtle changes. A little bloating, short breath climbing stairs, or fatigue right after a meal. These signs aren't scary if we listen in time. Taking care of our health after midlife doesn't require huge changes. Just understand the cause, then gently adjust small habits, sleep time, meal time, a little daily movement. I believe our bodies will respond gently in return. Dear friends, I still remember Uncle Tu, my neighbor next door. He's also over 60 now. He used to be tall and strong, but in the past few years, his belly kept growing even though he barely ate. Every morning, I still see him walking to the market, chatting happily, but his steps aren't as quick as before. One day, he sat resting under the areca tree by the gate, sighed and said, "You know, I used to wear size 32 pants. Now I'm up to 38. And my shirts bulge at the belly. Strange that I eat so little, yet still feel bloated." Then, during a routine checkup, the doctor told him his blood lipids were high, and his liver showed early signs of fatty buildup. That made him really upset. But thanks to that, he started researching and accidentally watched a program about how Japanese people keep their stomachs flat with just 2 light movements every morning. No gym, no torture, just deep breathing with light abdominal tension and proper side stretches, followed by a warm ginger lemon drink to help burn fat. Since then, Uncle Tu did exactly what the Japanese did. Each morning, he'd take a deep breath, gently brace his core, exhale slowly, then raise his arms and lean left and right. After that, he'd make a ginger lemon drink and sip it slowly before heading to the market. He also stopped eating late, cut down on white rice, and replaced it with sweet potatoes, vegetables, and oatmeal. Not long after, in just 2 months, I could see his belly noticeably slimmer. His old clothes fit again, his face looked brighter, and his steps were lighter. He smiled and said, "Maybe I've finally learned how to live right." That story stuck with me because it reminded me of something so real. Our bodies don't betray us. They're just reminding us when we've been living too fast, eating wrong, and ignoring our inner voice for too long. Dear friends, here are the 2 simple movements that the Japanese consistently do every morning. And they are exactly the secrets that help them lose up to 13 kilos of belly fat without strict diets or harsh workouts. First movement. Deep breathing combined with bracing the core. You can stand or sit upright. Then, take a deep breath through your nose while gently tightening the lower belly. Hold for a few seconds, then slowly exhale through your mouth, pulling your belly inward as if trying to press it toward your spine. This activates your core muscles, the central zone where visceral fat usually gathers and where it's hardest to lose if exercises are done incorrectly. Moreover, deep breathing increases oxygen levels in the blood, calms the nervous system, supports sleep, and boosts mental clarity. Some even say 5 minutes of this breathing is more awakening than a cup of coffee. Second movement. Side bending with waist engagement. Stand tall, raise your hands overhead, then gently lean to the left, hold for a few seconds, return to center, then lean right. Each lean stretches ischias and activates the obliques, the side waist muscles that are often underused, but crucial for keeping the waist tight and stable. This also helps expand the chest, supports deep breathing, and regulates heart rate. If you often have back pain, mild spinal degeneration, or hip fatigue during sleep, this is an excellent move to improve circulation without stressing your spine. I know starting a new habit isn't easy for many of us, but I believe if every morning we spend just 5 to 7 minutes repeating these 2 movements, gently and correctly, then after a few weeks, we'll feel the difference. Not just a slimmer waistline, but also a lighter spirit, deeper sleep, longer breaths, and steadier steps. Our bodies are always listening. They don't need big changes, just small, consistent acts of care. Sometimes a morning breath, a light core squeeze, is all it takes to awaken the vitality we've long forgotten. Dear friends, after practicing those 2 simple movements every morning, there's one more thing just as important: choosing the first drink we give our bodies after a long night's rest. This is when the body is like a freshly cleared garden, ready to absorb the purest, healthiest things. And the Japanese, they're so thoughtful here. They don't start their mornings with strong coffee or icy water, but with something simple yet powerful: a cup of warm ginger lemon water. Just a slice of fresh ginger, a few drops of lemon juice, and warm water around 40 degrees. And you've got a gentle drink that wakes up the body in the most natural way. Ginger contains gingerol, a compound that warms the body, boosts circulation, speeds up metabolism, and helps burn visceral fat, especially in the lower belly. Lemon, rich in vitamin C and citric acid, detoxifies the liver, breaks down excess fat in the blood, cleanses arteries, and even improves skin from within. What's special is that when you drink this on an empty stomach, it works even better. It lightens the belly, refreshes the mind, gently awakens digestion, without the shock or cramps that coffee or cold water might cause. But if we drink right and still eat wrong, it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's why the Japanese not only choose their drinks carefully, but they're also mindful of breakfast. They don't eat a lot, but eat smart, choosing dishes that are gentle and nourishing to the gut. A bowl of oatmeal with soft veggies, or a warm traditional miso soup. Not only easy to digest, but also feeds good gut bacteria, improves immunity, reduces silent inflammation, and lays the foundation for natural belly fat reduction without force. When the gut is healthy, liver detoxes well, and blood lipids stay balanced. The belly naturally shrinks, posture improves, and most importantly, we regain balance. See, the Japanese way of caring for the body isn't complicated. No pills, no machines, just a timely warm drink, the right breakfast, and a few smart movements. And it builds long-lasting health, clarity of mind, and a light waistline, even after 50. I truly believe that if each morning we start with a healthy habit, a cup of ginger water, a clean breakfast, and a few kind movements, soon enough, not only will our bellies shrink, but our hearts will feel lighter, more peaceful, and happier every day. Dear friends, after gently moving my body every morning, starting the day with a warm ginger lemon drink and a light breakfast, there is still one very important thing to keep in mind if we want to follow the Japanese-style weight loss method effectively and sustainably. And that is eliminating foods that silently store fat in our bellies. Because even if we exercise correctly, drink correctly, eat light in the morning, but still unintentionally consume foods that easily cause belly fat, then all our efforts may go to waste. The body needs support from both sides, activating fat burning and avoiding additional fat accumulation. Here are 3 food groups that we should avoid if we truly want our bellies to become slimmer, lighter, and healthier, the Japanese way. First, you should pay special attention to diet soda and packaged crackers. These 2 items are commonly found in many kitchens, often believed to be low-fat, light snacks, or suitable for weight loss. But in reality, they're silent culprits that disrupt metabolism and cause belly fat to pile up. Diet sodas and packaged crackers often contain a familiar but overlooked ingredient: artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, or saccharin. These substances have no real energy, but they trick the body into thinking sugar has been consumed. As a result, the pancreas releases insulin to handle this phantom energy. And when it finds nothing to process, the insulin remains in the blood, causing hormonal imbalance. Over time, insulin levels rise without real energy input, leading the body into fat-storing mode, especially in the lower belly and around internal organs. That's why many people say, "I eat very little, just drink 0 soda and diet snacks, but my belly keeps growing." Because the body is being fooled daily and reacts by storing fat as a form of defense. Even worse, artificial sweeteners can trigger constant cravings. Without real energy intake, the brain sends out repeated hunger signals, especially for sweets and fatty foods. So even when we try hard to diet, the cravings make us uncomfortable, lose control, and easily lead to snacking or eating at the wrong time. Next is fried red meat and the habit of late-night eating, a combination many still follow at dinner without realizing it puts huge pressure on the liver, gallbladder, and the entire digestive system. Especially after age 50, when internal organs begin slowing down, oily foods, especially red meats like beef and pork, become a burden the body can no longer handle well. Evening is a time when the body prepares to rest. The internal clock slows down. Organs like the liver and pancreas reduce activity. But if we eat too late, especially fried, high-protein, and saturated fat-rich meals, the liver must work the night shift, doubling its effort to process fat. Meanwhile, with no physical activity after eating, the energy doesn't get burned. Instead, it turns directly into fat, stored around the organs, especially the liver, intestines, and lower abdomen. Late-night eating, which seems harmless, causes insulin levels, the hormone regulating blood sugar and metabolism, to rise continuously while we're not burning energy. That's when visceral fat silently starts to build up, leading to fatty liver, blood fat disorders, and a bloated, heavy belly, even the next morning. In fact, just eating after 7 p.m. already increases the risk of belly fat, let alone dinners with fried meat, white rice, or sugary desserts. If you maintain this for months, your lower belly will start to swell. The fat will harden, forming visceral fat that's very hard to get rid of. That's why I often jokingly tell friends, dinner should not be revenge for starving all day, but rather a light, balanced, and easy-to-digest meal. The liver needs rest too, and the body needs to breathe, so we wake up the next morning feeling alert, light, and clear-headed. And finally, one food that seems harmless, but has silently kept our bellies round for years, is white rice. This is nearly indispensable in most households. Fried rice in the morning, plain rice at lunch, another bowl of warm, soft rice at dinner. Delicious, filling, but little do we know, it contains a very high amount of refined carbohydrates. Refined carbs in white rice are absorbed super fast, turning into blood sugar in minutes, causing a sudden spike in blood glucose. If you eat rice and then exercise or do physical work, that's somewhat okay. But for middle-aged folks like us, doing light work, sitting often, walking little, the excess sugar won't get burned, but will turn directly into fat, especially in the lower belly. And lower belly fat is not like fat in other areas. It's stubborn, slow-burning, and the older we get, the harder it is to lose. That's why many people diet strictly, exercise a lot, but their lower belly stays firm and bloated because of excessive white rice consumption for many years. Rice isn't bad, but how we eat it determines whether fat builds up. If each meal we eat 2 or 3 bowls, then sit down right after with little movement, over time, the body can't burn it off, and belly fat becomes the most resistant area. So, adjusting the amount of white rice we eat daily, or replacing part of it with brown rice, sweet potatoes, oats, or soft cooked vegetables, will be a better choice. It helps regulate blood sugar, reduce belly fat, and still provides enough energy for daily life. Dear friends, I always remind everyone honestly, we don't get a big belly because we eat too much, but because we eat wrong, the wrong foods at the wrong time, and ignoring what our bodies tell us. Just by cutting back those 3 things, diet sodas, fried red meat, and too much white rice, and replacing them with gentler, cleaner, balanced options, our bodies will adjust themselves, our bellies will feel lighter, and we'll feel the difference in just a few weeks. Losing belly fat doesn't need to be painful or torturous. It's a slow journey, persistent, and rooted in self-awareness. It's about living in harmony with our bodies, treating our health kindly, and being clear-headed enough to choose what's truly good for us, inside and out. True health doesn't come from grand gestures. It doesn't require heavy workouts or extreme diets. The most precious thing lies in the small choices we repeat every day, like a few gentle morning movements, a warm and thoughtful ginger drink, or the ability to say no to seemingly harmless foods that make our bellies heavier and our minds more tired. Our bodies always know how to respond if they're loved the right way. Every small adjustment, from breathing, eating habits, to peaceful thoughts, will bring us closer to real health. Not just a lighter belly, but a lighter heart. If you find today's video helpful, please leave the number 1 in the comments so I know I'm on the right track and can continue sharing more. If anything is unclear, feel free to leave 0. I'll listen and respond in future videos. Thank you for spending your valuable time with me, not to hear me talk, but to listen to what your body truly needs. And if this message resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the Chan Lee Song channel so that each day we have the chance to sit together and share these small but meaningful things that bring lasting value to our health and life. Wishing you deep peace, vibrant energy, and a truly gentle way of living in every moment.